So I've heard that you should work out your abs 5 days a week, but I've also heard about spacing it out and creating that sort of like muscle confusion. Well, to find out what we should do and we shouldn't do, because I wouldn't want to do more sit-ups than I possibly should, I decided to ask the expert, Jeremy Scott with Jeremy Scott Fitness. He's here to tell us the truth about how to get six-pack abs. I don't want to embarrass you, but like that, because there's some, okay, there you go. Okay, sorry. We have a lot of viewers out there that we just had to prove it to them.
Do what I can.
All right, so Jeremy's here, and what are the best exercises to get six-pack abs? And let me preface it by saying you said we don't have to do sit-ups ever again or crunches.
No, the reality is that the abs function is to just basically stabilize, that lumbar spine. So anytime you're crunching or pulling forward, you're only working those superficial muscles, which really isn't beneficial for
Where's
people.
our superficial muscles?
It's
like
just
up top?
those rectus abdominis, so those six that everybody thinks. Your trunk is actually your entire, from your back all the way to the front. That's why when people who crunch tend to get those lower back problems and they never get that look of abs that they're looking for.
Exactly. Well, we want the look of good abs. We want them to really be there. So show me a couple of things that we should be doing at home, and maybe tell me how many we're going to do.
We'll just go 10. This is very simple. It's called the mountain climber, something that some of you guys have probably seen before. You just come down to that push-up position. Keep that back totally straight.
Okay.
You want your abs tight and your butt tight is what we tell people. And pretend you have a glass of water just sitting on your back. And slowly just bring your knees as close to your chest as you can get. And what you're going to do here is that lower back is engaged, that trunk is tight, your hips aren't moving, nothing's flopping around. You just keep it right there, and you just rip through it for maybe 10 to 20 reps, depending on what you guys can handle. That's a great thing to hit the lower abs, as well as keep that lower back and get those shoulders
So
stabilized.
how many of these should we do? Should we mix it up? Like, will you show us something else that we could do back to back?
Definitely. Like,
okay.
Mountain climber is a great starting point. You can come to there. Most of you guys are familiar with the plank.
Right.
You can make that plank a little bit sexier here and go from a plank to push-up position. As we pop up, we pop down. You keep that back totally straight. Those hips don't move. They don't sag down. Again, your core is engaged. Those abs are working the entire time. Just keep it tight just like that. It's a great complement to the mountain climber.
You know what? That actually doesn't look like it would be difficult. However,
I can breathe in a little bit heavy here, so you can tell I'm a little bit smoked just from that.
how many, if you do, how many of them? Like, when are you going to start to feel it?
I would say a starting point for most people, just try between 10 and 20 reps, depending on where you're at.
Okay.
I always say err on the side of caution instead of trying to smoke yourself out, in the first 5 minutes.
So if we do 10 to 20 of the first one, the mountain climber,
Yep.
and then 10 to 20 of this one.
Correct.
Should we do that every day?
You can actually work your abs every day. It's just like a lot of people think maybe I should only go every other day. You can integrate it every single day as long as you're eating right on top of it to get where you want to be.
We're going to get to that part in a second. All right, do you have one more for me?
I'll give you guys one more. It's
Okay.
just a simple, a lot of people are used to that Russian twist where they come and they sit down and they're going super quick. What I want you guys to do is just a seated trunk stabilization where your hands are here and you guys are going to be facing forward the entire time. That head's facing forward, that chest is forward. All you're going to do is move those hands and kind of fight against that resistance, which is the function of your abs in the first place, to keep that lower back stable. Everything is here and tight on that straight plane, and that's what's really going to get your abs going instead of just twisting that lower back.
Yeah, I always go really, really fast.
And the key is just to keep it slow and controlled so everything is on that same plane of movement.
All right, so if we do those 3 exercises, I don't know, at least what? At least
I would say
3
start
times,
off between 2 and 3 times a week just to see how it feels when you're going through it.
Okay. What if I want to get abs and I want to get it fast?
Okay.
What is the #1 thing that I should be doing?
Well, we tell people who come into our camps, they're called table push-aways.
Okay.
And that's basically where you
Table push away.
It's where you push the junk food away from your mouth, because the reality is that no matter how, you guys can do all this
a table
stuff
push away.
where you push that junk food right away from
The
your
ice
mouth.
cream,
The pizza, the cookies, the french fries, all that stuff. You don't need it in your life. And the reality is you guys can do these exercises all day long. But unless you're eating, you're never going to see the results of it, just because it depends on how high your body fat is to see what everybody wants as the six-pack.
Right, because you can't see the six-pack
because
if
you
there's
have
fat
you have
on
the
it.
same abs that I do, whether you realize it or not. They're just
Well,
under,
I'm not going to show my abs, but I just want you to know they're exactly like Jeremy's.
they're just under a little bit of layer than mine are. That's all. it
No,
is.
they're
Okay.
not.
They're getting there, though. They're getting there.
Jeremy does help me out at least 3 days a week. One more thing real quick. You talk about if it doesn't fly, if it doesn't swim.
If it doesn't run, if it doesn't grow from the earth,
Don't eat it.
You pretty much don't need to eat it.
All right, so hot fudge sundaes?
I don't think those grow anywhere.
Okay.
No.
All right. Great information. Thank you, Jeremy. We are going to have all of this information on our website, and you can give Jeremy Scott Fitness a call. Again, all of the information will be on our website.